Hi friends! So here I am today again for another live. Sorry that I keep smashing the microphone. Apparently I can't get used to this thing. But I think it helps. I think. So today what I wanted to do was talk real briefly about a biotech technology that I have come to absolutely fall in love with, and this is something that actually I did an interview with Dr. David Silverman. He is actually a foot specialist. He had a podiatrist, foot surgery center, and he has since moved on from that, but he had his own surgery center. He had sold that, and he is with this company full-time now. Like, this is what he does, but he's also on their medical board, and that was a big draw for me when it came to some kind of supplement or system, because there's a lot of choices out there. And so this company has a medical board made up of MDs, DOs, podiatrists and dentists and chiropractors and acupuncturists, and that's amazing. That's amazing to find a system that has actual medical professionals that oversee things. The second thing is the amount of research that they have that backs this system. As a chiropractor and someone who really looks at nutritional supplementation, it piqued my interest, right? We like to see evidence-based stuff, like we can actually see that it's working, right? But this isn't a nutritional. Okay, this is not digestion based. This is not a juice. It's not a CBD. So it can help all of those things work better, but it is completely different. There is nothing else out there like it. They have 7 patents and over 200 trade secrets. So they are the only ones that have this technology. And what this technology is it is redox signaling, cell signaling. And there is a whole science around redox, and all you have to do is go to like PubMed and some of those. PubMed's kind of Google for the medical community, right? And you can pull up information about redox molecules. And this is actually kind of a fairly new-ish science discovery. Kind of back in the 90s, it really started gaining a little bit more traction and research in that field. And now today there's lots more information and research on it. So redox molecules are a whole big section of science. Okay, so it's not just something willy-nilly that somebody came up with and developed. But what this is the ASEA redox, and it's cell signaling supplement. So essentially what happens is our cells talk to themselves, they talk within themselves, but then they also talk to other cells within the body. And when we are young, we make a whole lot of this, okay? And that's what's needed for our body to function well, to communicate effectively, right? To heal better. So that's why a 5-year-old heals better than a 20-year-old, and a 20-year-old heals better than a 50-year-old, because when we are young, we make tons of this. And once we hit puberty, that production starts to lower and we make less and less of it. So by the time that we are 60 years old, we don't have as much as what we did when we were 20 or even 5 years old. So what this does is actually supplements those redox molecules. It gives us those molecules. So what exactly is it doing? Say you have 2 cells and they're talking to each other, right? And you have one cell that gets worn out, it's tired, or something just kind of goes awry in it. Then what should happen is all of the healthy cells around it should send out a signal, a cry for help that says, hey, immune system, come in here and fix this, because there's something wrong here. And then the immune system will come in, it'll gobble that up through a process called apoptosis, get rid of that cell so that then we can replicate a new, fresh, healthy cell in its place. But if we have this old, worn out, wonky cell, and all the cells around it send out a signal, but it's kind of like, psst, 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 the immune system may not be able to hear it. Okay, it's like trying to call the fire department with 1 bar of cell service versus 5. The fire department has everything that you need to put out your house that is currently on fire. Okay, but if you're only got 1 bar of cell service, then it's hello, hello, where are you? What's going on? What do you need? Huh? They don't know. They don't know how to find you. They don't know what's going on. And your house burns to the ground, okay? Versus calling the fire department with 5 bars of cell service and knowing exactly what's going on and exactly where you're at so that they can show up, put the fire out, right? To keep your house from burning to the ground. That's what cell signaling is. It's amplifying that signal, that cry for help. So when you have that wonky cell and here's a healthy one, and all the ones around it, and they send out that cry for help, it's stronger. It's not just psst, psst. It's hey, right here. Here's where the problem is. And the immune system can come in and say, aha, take care of it, get rid of it, duplicate a fresh, brand new cell. Our cellular health is the basis for everything, okay? Like, we have to have healthy cells that can properly communicate with one another, because when we don't have that, then we start to get an overload of toxins in our body. Our body's not filtering as well. It's not functioning as well by any means. So what I like about this is it's all naturally occurring. It's the actual redox molecules that are in our body, okay? We're just taking it, we're just supplementing with it, so you can't be allergic to it. It doesn't interact with any medications, and it's right in line with what I believe as a chiropractor, that it powers your innate healing ability, because we are very, very powerful. But with our society and the stress, there are patients that I have been seeing for a long time that struggle with getting better. Why? Because they don't have proper cellular communication. And there are patients that, yes, we address their nutrition. Yes, we get them adjusted. Yes, they've done acupuncture. They've done functional medicine. But there's still just something missing that's keeping them from reaching their 100% full potential and living that truly vibrant life. And that missing puzzle piece is what I looked for a long time. And then I found it in 𝒮𝓃𝒶𝓃𝓈𝒻𝑜𝓇𝓂. Okay, it is so incredibly simple. It's made from salt water. Okay, it's not actual salt water when you take it. It undergoes a scientific process, hence the 200 trade secrets, right? Like, you're not just drinking pool water or something, or going into the ocean. Especially everybody in Florida is like, aren't we surrounded by salt water? Like, it's different, okay? But that's what it's made from. Okay, it's just like you bake a cake and you look at the ingredients of the cake, like, oh, flour, sugar, butter. You know, well, if you look at just the ingredients, are you making a cake? Are you making a cupcake? Or, you know, it's the ingredients of, okay? It's what makes it up. It's not necessarily the final product, right? So that's what I mean by it's made up of salt water. It goes through a process to create these redox molecules that then you can just pour in a little cup, drink a few times a day, a couple times a day. Most people do like 4 ounces. Some people do 8. Some people do 16 ounces. Just depends on what's going on and how much healing that your body needs. Which, if this is something that you think, you know what, I've tried a lot of different things and I'm still just not where I think I could be in my health, it might be because down at the level of your cells, those cells aren't communicating well with one another. And remember, there's communication within the cell itself, right? Think back to like 8th grade science class here, guys, okay? Think about all the things that you had to learn about in the mitochondria, the little powerhouse of the cell itself. There's a lot of communication going on there, but then there's a lot of communication that's happening around all the other cells of your body, okay? So if that signal being sent out for help is really quiet and low, then the immune system is going to be searching and searching and searching and searching and searching. Okay, now there's other pieces to this, like when people come in to me about nutrition, a big thing is we test them for foods, we test them for any kind of pathogens or other toxins that could be interrupting their healing as well. And that's great, that's perfect. But that's the nutritional piece of things. Okay, that's looking at, you know, how are you processing things through your gut, right? This is beyond that. Okay, it's another level. So it's completely different. We are talking about cell to cell and within the cell communication. And when you heighten those signals, it is absolutely amazing at what your body can do. There are tons of success stories. Now, it's not a drug, okay? Pharmaceutical company tried to buy it. Isn't that interesting? But the founders said, no thanks. Even though you're giving us like this ginormous check, we're gonna say no because you're probably gonna bury it, right? So that says a lot too. So it's not a drug, it's not a nutrition, you know, it's not a juice, it's truly biotechnology that's incredibly simple, extremely efficient at healing your cells. So when that happens, it heightens your overall innate ability to heal. For me, way less muscle soreness, better recovery. My skin, if you saw my picture the other day, I posted like fresh face, no makeup, like, oh my gosh. I'm like never, even like 5 years ago, I would have been caught dead with that, right? Like there's no way I'm even walking out of the house without some kind of light makeup or something. And my high school self would have been just unreal. Like I used to have horrible like cystic acne, and like 15 years ago I did the whole Accutane route, which, oh my gosh, that's a subject for a whole nother day of how hard and rough it is on your body. But then several years ago it started coming back, which is not uncommon in people who have undergone Accutane regimens. It can help to clear up your skin, but one thing with Accutane as well is it can create dry patches. I had like huge cracks along the side of my mouth because it's essentially like large doses of vitamin A, kind of. But those are side effects of taking a lot of vitamin A, you know, so the dry peeling skin and the cracks, and so there was special lotion I had to put on. The birth defects can be huge from that medication. So there's literally a hotline that you have to call into and tell them like, oh, okay, what are the 2 forms of birth control that you are using? You know, and it didn't even matter if you were like active or not. It didn't matter. Everybody had to do it. Men and women that were taking this medication, because the birth defects were so severe when it came to that. And it really changes your skin's chemistry. It is rough. Plus, I had to go every so often, get my blood drawn because they have to check liver enzymes and, you know, making sure that it's not like damaging my liver, because if it is, then you have to go off of it. Y'all, it's some serious stuff. So you go through that whole regimen, only for years later, it starts coming back. Like the acne starts coming back, and I would get like cysts, right? Especially down here, which some people may be familiar with, that is related to hormones, especially. But it didn't matter. It didn't matter how often I washed my face. It didn't matter about the topicals that I used, any of the herbs, like anything else. It just wasn't kicking it until this, because there was an issue within my cells. not only did I see a change in skin tone and skin texture, right? I noticed better energy levels too. I mean, I dealt with chronic fatigue for a long time, and I always would try to throw in different supplements and things at it and seeing, hey, what would work? Ultimately, this. Y'all, my pup had been sick over the weekend, had like a little accident, something like very emotionally draining, okay? But then last night, tummy issues, his tummy issues from trying to recover from everything. So we were up at like 2 o'clock. Like I didn't make it to bed till like midnight. We were up at 2 o'clock. Then we were up at 4 o'clock. I was back out of bed at 7. Like there wasn't much sleep happening last night. And I'm doing okay. There would be no way that I could be running this well before this. Okay, there are tons of success stories of people that have seen some great things coming from it. So what I did was I attached a link to this, and what you can do is you can actually go to that and you can check out the buttons there, and you'll see one that talks about cellular healing, the BioTech. Click on that and it's going to take you to a page where it's going to give you a whole lot more information on it, exactly what it is, what it's doing, and it can take you to other like testimonials and stories as well. But if you're looking for some particular information, feel free to reach out. But I'm not kidding, I've got patients that I've put them on this system now, and we're seeing, you know, patients that just weren't getting to 100%. We'd get them to about 70, 75 with chiropractic care. But once we started incorporating this, we'd get them back to like 90, 95%, if not 100%. And it is just absolutely amazing. So I truly feel it is worth at least taking a look at it. If not for you, for somebody that you love. Maybe you feel perfectly fine and you're like, nah, I'm good. But maybe you have a mother or a father, brother, sister, cousin, aunt, uncle, friend that deals with some issues and they're not really sure what's going on and can't really figure out what's helping. This isn't gonna hurt. There's no toxicity level to it. Like again, it's not a drug, it's not a pharmaceutical. It can't hurt you. All it can do is help. So reach out if you have any questions, and yeah, have a great day, guys.